Good evening, everyone. My name is Laura Schifrin, and I will call the meeting to order of the Select Board on this January 7th, 2025. Happy New Year, everyone. We could stand for the pledge. Oh, excuse me, we need the roll call.
Veronica Cal present.
Laura Schifrin present, and along with Sabrina and Nelson. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is that window open?
It is not.
Okay. I would like to thank all of our first responders, our veterans, and those currently serving in our military.
I have a thank you as well. I would like to thank all the townspeople who are supporting the town in trash collection by purchasing the purple bags.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's a good note. The meeting is being recorded and will be uploaded to the Townsend YouTube channel. And for 1.4 chairman's additions or deletions, I do want to add and keep repeating that there are vacancies on our boards, and that if you have an expertise that you could donate your knowledge to the town, that would be very much appreciated. The volunteer form is on the Townsend website. 1.5, review and approve minutes of December 12th and December 17th. Veronica? I'm
going to make a motion that we accept the minutes of December 12th, 2024. I'll do them one at a time.
Okay. I'll second. Discussion?
I don't have anything.
Okay, and I don't either. I didn't see anything. Okay, hearing none, so roll call vote.
Do we need a roll call?
No, actually, we can just say yes, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just us.
Yeah, we're all present.
Okay. So December 12th is approved.
Just all those in favor. Aye.
All those in favor.
Aye. All right. And then I make a motion that we accept the minutes for December 17th, 2024.
And I'll second. Any discussion?
I have no discussion.
And I don't either. So, hearing saying none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you very much. The minutes are approved. So this evening we do not have any appointments. And number 3, appointment of officials personnel. I'm not sure why I did that. Both of these, but so are you guys here for the, or no, are you here for a particular reason?
No, we just came from the news.
Okay, fine.
This is
So
all
fine. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
I can relate to that.
3.1.
Do you want me to make the motion?
Go right ahead.
I move that we appoint Lisa Struthers as an at-large member, Dave Fanioli as a TCAM representative, Kerry Wolanowski as library trustees representative, and Laura Schifrin as select board representative to the Cable Advisory Committee effective today, January 7th, 2025, through completion of the Comcast contract in 2025.
Okay, I'll second that motion. And as a side note, we still have remaining vacancies from the Finance Committee. I have talked to Don Hayes. He was going to try to get fixed shortly.
You need one from the finance committee?
Yes.
Yes.
It's for the Comcast
This
contract.
is for the Comcast
town.
contract.
Carol? I thought Carol did. I'll find out.
Carol, oh, maybe. Anyway, but it has to be, you have to let us know after your next meeting. Okay, because we don't have a submission
All right.
from finance.
Okay.
And then we have a position for the second at-large representative. And also from the Council on Aging representative. And just so that people know, you don't have to be per se a member of the Council of Aging, say committee, or a member of Finance Committee, actually. But you can be appointed by either one of those boards or committees to the selectmen to be on this. So having said that, any further discussion?
Nope.
Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. 3.2, would you like to make that motion?
Sure. I move that we appoint Colby Streeter as conservation agent to the Land Use Department with effective and start date January 13th, 2025.
And I will second that motion. Any discussion?
We're all good to go. I've been in touch with Colby,
Okay,
and he's going to take the first MACC course tomorrow evening.
oh, great.
So we signed him up for that. So he's well on his way to getting
Okay,
all
and
the
then
courses.
his start date is January 13th.
Correct.
So that was the discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And welcome to Colby.
Yes.
Look forward to seeing him here. 3.3,
I move that we appoint Aaron Steffield as land use coordinator to the Land Use Department with effective and start date January 13th, 2025.
and I will second that motion. Any discussion?
Um,
I'm excited.
No, I am too. I just want to know that we will be reposting the position that she did hold for grant writer and housing committee support.
That actually has already been posted.
Okay, great.
Very good.
Yep.
Thank you. Anything else?
Did you call anybody who's applied before for any positions?
That gentleman that applied, I did let him know to look on the website for it.
Okay, awesome.
Yep.
Okay.
And I think Aaron said we might have received one or two interested parties already for the housing and grant administrator
Oh,
position.
excellent.
So,
Great.
So we are already getting some traction.
Excellent.
Okay.
All right.
And you'll let us know, or one of us know, be able to interview?
Yeah, absolutely. Aaron would technically be this person's supervisor.
Understood.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, we can certainly, include one of
Yeah,
one of you to be part of that process.
okay.
That would be great.
Um,
I think that it would be good to include someone from the Housing Authority and someone from the Housing Trust as well, because the person is not only the grant writer, but also housing support.
Mhm.
So that's what I think.
I agree with that. Okay, 3. Well, we had discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Again, very excited for her. And she's very enthusiastic, so I'm thrilled about that. 3.4,
I make a motion to appoint Dylan Smith as temporary seasonal emergency worker to the Highway Department with effective and start date December 21st, 2024.
this is retroactive.
Mhm.
Okay, I second.
Discussion.
I know it was a need. There was a need to get somebody on because of somebody.
Yeah, so the highway department not only had someone go out for medical reasons, but the private contractors has been less than in previous years. So highway is really short-staffed to deal with snow and ice operations. And actually, we just have someone in highway is resigning effective pretty soon, actually. So we're down another person in highway, so
Oh,
really,
Well, we'll have to get that lighted sign back up on the common
oh, yeah, for the position, yes.
that's had the position for
Yeah.
highway
Yep,
for
yeah.
a while.
Yep.
So it
Correct.
seemed, it must have worked, so.
So, yeah, so we're, highway's really short on staff,
yeah,
so,
and I understand the lack of contractors because it's more expensive to do that today, between the gas and the insurance and everything else.
correct, and, they can certainly go to, neighboring communities that might pay a little bit more, might even be the next town over, so, they sort of go where the money,
Sure,
the money
sure.
is,
Of course.
and the difference can be pretty substantial, it could be $5-10 an hour easily,
Mhm.
so.
Understood. Any further discussion? This is 8.4. All those in favor say aye.
I,
That passes. 3.5.
I make a motion to reappoint, Police Chief James P. Sartell, Fire Chief Gary Shepherd, and Select Board appointee Michael Grimley to the Patriot, Rec Board effective January 9th, 2025, with the term to expire December 31st, 2025.
And I will second. Discussion.
No, this is the communication center, the
Okay,
emergency communication center.
all right.
And so the way they're, yes, so, I'm sorry, so,
You could amend the motion for effective today.
oh, okay, so I will do that. I will amend the motion to be effective 1/7 instead of 1/9/2025,
All right.
with the term to still expire December 31st.
I wondered if that, my question was gonna be, is there a reason for the other date? So now I know, okay.
I was looking on here to see when it expired previously and didn't see it. But anyway, when that communication center was established, they have a board that requires these appointments from the police, the fire, and the select board from each town. And so this is who was put in place in 2021. And so,
Okay. I'm good with it. Any further discussion? Okay. Seeing none. All those in favor say aye.
aye.
And if we both agree, I don't have to ask for anything else, right?
No, I don't think you do.
Did you say aye?
I did.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yes, I did.
All right.
3.6.
I make a motion to appoint Veronica Kell to the audit committee effective today, January 7th, 2025, with a term to expire 12/31/2025. And this is for the audit committee. It's a policy and, I guess
And I
I should wait
second.
for second.
I second that.
Yeah. And the policy, the committee is for the auditor for the town of Townsend. And it is a member of the select board, a member of the finance committee, and one registered voter in the town with finance experience. So previously, when the first time the audit committee was seated was 3 years ago, and it consisted of me, Dawn Hayes from the finance committee, and I think Lynn was on it prior, but then she resigned from that. Anyway, it was Dawn and Dave Chanel. But the note on here says that Dave Chanel, the term ended as soon as we stopped meeting when the auditors were chosen. So that's Roselli. They audit the books for the town and present the audit each year. So the committee would convene to attend the audit review that they are required to do each year. Yeah. So we're now at a point where we need to re-up the contract, which can be done without an RFP. When we first came in, I think the previous auditors had been in place for 15 years, give or take. And they recommend the town, well, the LS, the state recommends that you change auditors every 5 to 10 years, I guess. And
That
so,
makes sense.
so we could just remain with Roselli, but the audit committee needs to meet. So we need 3 appointees to that. So this motion is to appoint me to the audit committee, but Laurie, I'm more than willing if you would like to be on the
No,
audit
I
committee.
think I have my own thing I have to do.
And,
after this. No, I second the motion to appoint you to the
Okay.
audit committee.
Okay, but we can change the motion. But anyway, that's what this is. So, it looks like we have posted for, Dawn has not yet been renewed. So the finance committee, this is another task for the finance
I
committee
think
to,
we did talk about it, and Dawn is gonna come back on, and I'm coming on as, person community, person watch. Because I've been on it for 5 or 6.
oh, so you turned in a
think
volunteer
you did.
response form.
I'm pretty sure he did.
You did.
He told me he was gonna do audit.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Oh,
So anyway, that's the, so this is just to appoint me as the select board rep.
Okay. And then do we does the select board end up appointing everyone?
The
After
finance
they're
committee appoints one
Okay,
person, but we will appoint whoever the at-large person is. So if you're
Once
applying
there's
for that,
input.
Geraldine, you
Okay.
need to turn in a response form.
sure.
That's
thank
all.
you.
So,
Okay, so that is 3.6 for the audit committee has been motioned and seconded and discussed. Are we good?
mhm.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 3.7.
This changed. I move to appoint Veronica Cal to the Capital Planning Committee effective today, 1/7/2025, with the term to expire on the June 30th, 2026, which is actually after my term as we should make this whatever the election date is. Because unless I rerun, which I may, I
But
don't
at
know
this
yet,
point-
but at this point, the appointment should be through, election day in April of 2026. Yes.
And
I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I thought you were already on 3.7 when I said I was going on capital. I'm not on the audit committee.
Oh, you're not?
Okay. But you're on
Geraldine,
capital
you're welcome to be.
She's been on capital planning from finance
Oh, so you're the finance
Yeah.
person for,
Dawn's the
for audit.
and, okay, now I'm confused.
But he's coming on capital plan and I'm coming on capital plan, but I'll be the person at large.
At large. So I am currently a sworn-in at-large member for the Capital Planning Committee because John Barrett appointed me last spring, and I got sworn in June when being a selectman was, returning to the select board wasn't even a thought in my head
Mhm.
at that point. So I am on the Capital Planning Committee. But if you were appointed, then we would wind up having a select board meeting.
Right.
So we can't do that.
Right.
So if we go ahead and appoint me, did you second this already?
I absolutely did.
Okay.
100%.
And I'm good with this, but I will then need to turn in a resignation to resign my at-large seat on the Capital Planning Committee. So that will free
There's
up an
another
opportunity for someone else on capital planning. So, and I think my appointment expires in June of 2025, I believe. I think Sabrina put something in here about this. Yeah, so I will turn in a resignation.
And then there'll be another opening.
Yes, so there would be 2 at-large positions on capital planning. All right, so that's all I have to say on that.
And I am in agreement. I don't have anything further to say.
Okay.
Only that we're gonna need volunteers.
Yes.
to fill out some more forms. No further discussion, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 4.1, reorganization of the select board.
All right, I make a motion to reorganize the select board as follows. Laura Schifrin, Chair, Veronica Kell, Vice Chair, Clerk remains vacant until annual town election on April 28th, 2025.
Second. Discussion?
No discussion.
I don't have any discussion. And there's no way that we can even appoint somebody until the election.
Right, so that's all good.
You know, it's not.
Well,
Hearing no further discussion. All those in favor say aye.
aye.
And aye. 4.2.
Okay, well, let's talk about this. Let me make the motion and then we can adjust as needed. So I have some comments on this. So I move to assign the select board liaisons as follows. Laura Schifrin, elected boards, Veronica Kell, general government, and public safety.
I'll second for discussion.
Okay. I want to, first of all, I thought we were going to go through here and divvy it up, but
Yeah.
because this is assigning me to all of general government, all of Teresa's.
I know.
I
already have that many under the elected boards.
Yeah, you have a ton, and
Okay.
public safety is short, so I'm not.
But why can't you just do, the capital planning is already there.
Well, let me talk about this a little bit.
Okay.
I don't mind taking everything, but I want to add another section to this because capital planning is not a liaison assignment. The expectations, or I should say the participation, if you are a liaison, the Board of Selectmen liaison, and I'm reading this from the policy, is not considered a member of each assigned department, committee, or board. He or she should not actively participate in meetings unless invited to do so or is needed to provide or obtain information and feedback. So if you're a liaison, you're basically a fly on the wall. If you're at the meeting, or you're the person that if the committee has a question or needs an explanation for something, they call you or email you or whatever. I would like to see a committee assignment section that includes the audit committee, the capital planning committee, the MJTC, the MRPC, and the MARC board, because those are not liaisons. You are an active participating voting member on these committees.
Mm-hmm.
So they are not liaison assignments. And somehow they've migrated into liaison assignments on this.
I don't know how this was ever decided. I don't
No,
know
me
the
either.
origin of the liaison assignments.
Oh, well, this is a policy that was put in place in 2018.
2018.
Yes. And it was to, the purpose is to broaden communication between the boards because boards didn't know what other boards were doing, and the select board was often in the dark. So that was the reason the policy was put in place, signed into, adopted by the Board of Selectmen 7/31/2018, signed by Sue Licio and Cindy King, and the third member on the board was Wayne Miller. So the policy hasn't been in effect that long, but to me, it's a good policy. I think it's worked.
And I think it could probably use some work as far as adjustments.
On the policy itself? Well, we can talk about that, but right now, I don't have any adjustments.
The assignments themselves, like you said, you want to see a different category.
I would like to pull out the audit committee and capital planning from this,
Liaison.
from general government. And just make another tab, because we do have to make these assignments, but just make it another tab. So pull out audit committee and capital planning from general government, from public safety, pull out MRPC alternate, because I'm looking at this. We have MRPC under elected boards.
Right.
Actually, their MRPC is one from the planning board, who's the primary, and one from the select board, who is the alternate. And right now, we have both the primary and the alternate under the select board. And one of those should be a planning board member. And it's complicated by the fact that you're the MRPC chair. And you're on the planning board and the select board. And if you are on the select board and the rep, then you're the alternate, because MRPC is planning. And so the planning person gets top billing. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's only.
So I don't think MRPC should be under elected boards at all. It should be MRPC alternate, which can be me, and you should remain as MRPC for the planning board. I was trying to say this in the meeting where we did this before, and it was not coming out exactly clearly, but that's why. And that's why I said no to being the MRPC alternate, because that's actually you, because you're the select board appointee to you're the planning board appointee to we need to sort this out. That's all. We don't have to do it right here, right now.
I'm not running for planning.
I know, but
So whatever is happening is, and
is
isn't going to be a
temporary.
need for, very temporary.
But somebody from the planning board should be attending the MRPC meetings,
Okay,
is what I'm saying. And if that is you, that's fine. And then
well, it is me because I'm chairing.
So then you should not be listed as the MRPC person for the select board. It should just be MRPC alternate, and that can be me.
Okay,
Do you see what I'm saying?
yeah, I'm fine.
And then, anyway,
I don't need
we
another
only
board
need
on
one
my thing.
MRPC person from the select board assigned. Yes,
So remove or
remove, but move it to a new section.
in the
Make
bottom.
a new category. I'll give you my paper, Sabrina. Okay, and same with MART Advisory Board. That should be pulled out because you're a voting member. That should be a committee assignment. And you're that person, Laurie, which is fine, but you're a voting member on that.
Mhm.
You can participate in those, and you should. So, and the other one isn't even on here, and that's the Affordable Housing Trust. So let's talk about that,
That's gotta go on.
because the Affordable Housing Trust requires a select board member as a trustee who is a member of the committee and a voting member.
And it can't be both of us.
And I am currently an appointed member to the Affordable Housing Trust. So I would like to be appointed as the select board rep to the Affordable Housing Trust. And then I will also resign my at-large community member
Can we do that one right
designation.
now?
That's up to you, Nelson. We can do it next time if you want.
Let's do it at the next one, because it's not on the agenda, and I feel kind of weird doing
Okay.
stuff that's
Yeah.
not on the agenda.
So
So,
in the meantime, all of you out there listening, we have plenty of positions available for others to take.
yes.
It does not have to be the two of us for everything.
That's right. So, but I'm good with doing the general government because you have a ton with elected boards. And the public safety is, for the most part, the police department and the fire department.
And honestly, it's not feasible to attend every single
No,
one of
it's
these
not.
meetings as a liaison.
No, it's not. You don't have to attend them. But if
I'm
you
not
do
allowed to.
attend, you should be getting, the other thing is The boards and committees should be sending their agendas to the liaison. That's part of the policy. But anyway. Each committee and board which has an assigned liaison should use that person as the first point of contact. The liaison should be on the distribution of all general meeting correspondence for agendas and all that. So I'm good with with the motion. But I do want the boards where we are not liaisons, we're actively doing on it. Yeah. And by the way, I am also on the bylaw review committee. Just know that. So I'm the liaison and a member of that committee. But that committee is, I think I was appointed by the Selectboard to that last year.
Can you somehow adjust this to reflect what we've discussed?
Yep, and we'll add a section towards the end of that list.
Okay.
I'll give you this.
And then all of these committees, boards should receive a copy of the list as well as the liaison policy.
We can do that.
Okay.
So that's my discussion on that.
Any further discussion?
Not for me.
I think we are in agreement. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So on to 4.3, revision to April 25 select board meeting dates. Do you want to make that motion?
I don't know what the motion is.
It's to.
Oh, is it
change to
here?
April 1st.
Oh, I move to change the April 2025 select board meeting dates to 4/01/2025 and 4/15/2025. I looked at this on the calendar and I thought that's what I had. So I wasn't sure why we were. Oh, we had April 8th and April 22nd. Oh, this was another one then where we were doing second and, yeah, I'm good with that.
The 1st and the 3rd.
The 1st and the 3rd is what, yeah. We must have, I don't know how this. All right,
So this one's the 1st and the 3rd, but
it has
This one
been the
isn't.
2nd and the 4th. I see. When we did this in December, this was another month where it was the 2nd and the 4th. So yeah, I'm good. I move that we change the April 2025 select board meeting dates to the 1st and the 3rd weeks of the month. So to 4/01/2025 and 4/15/2025.
okay, but the list that I had, which was January 9th and then February 6th.
Where are you at?
Well, on December 11th, we were given a list.
Yeah. And some of those were 1st and 3rds, and some of them were 2nds and 4ths, and I must have missed
Yeah, but
April.
February.
No, this is the MRPC.
Oh, I had that to compare. Okay,
Yeah, so what you guys had, the list that was originally given to you, the dates were off. So we're just voting to change it back to the 1st and 3rd Tuesday of each
Each
April.
month.
but this,
Yeah.
this motion is only for April.
Right,
Yeah.
because we moved in the meeting, we moved June and July. We moved them to the 1st and 3rd
Yeah,
in the meeting, but we
missed.
missed April, that's all.
Yeah.
Okay. Any further discussion on 4.3 to change April? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 4.4.
I make a motion to accept the rate increase for town council effective July 1st, 2025 as presented. Is there a second?
Okay, it was an executive.
No, this is the town council rates
Yeah,
for MTC. For Mead, Talman, and Costa.
I know.
Oh, I didn't think it was an executive.
It's
It
not,
was in the portal.
no,
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 it's under 4.4 in the portal. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
it's in there.
It belongs where it should be. And the executive section is behind and stuff.
So is there a
I
second?
was looking at it this afternoon. Yes, there's a
Okay.
second.
So we'll just put this in the budget as,
Yeah, it's an increase.
if
And
we accept it.
correct. And, I had reached out to Adam to get a little bit of history behind it. In the packet, or the SharePoint, you'll see the, original contract of MTC. And that was, $3,300 a month. And then there wasn't a, increase until 2021. And they haven't increased it since. So it's been 4 years since they've put in an increase. So they've tried to limit the amount of increases,
Their hours increased during that period too.
Well,
The budget itself increased. Okay,
So he's proposing, $4,500 per month, as the monthly rate, as well as increasing his rate to $200 an hour from the current 180 for additional services that we would request of them. That's their rate. He's going to bump it up to $200 an hour, effective July 1st, from the 180 that he's currently charging. And it's been 180 since the beginning of the contract in 2018.
right.
So,
any further discussion?
For me.
Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. .5 mandatory referral, the planning board, proposed amendments for zoning bylaw.
Okay, so do you, this doesn't require a motion, but there's a discrepancy, I think, in here, under the accessory dwelling units. Under number 4, it references, I'll give this to Lori since she's on the planning board. There's a reference to B4, yet there is no B4 above. That used to be where we had from when I was on the planning board and we wrote this bylaw, they had to get a report from the Board of Health to state that, their plans were acceptable. And it looks like that's been removed, yet the reference
Yeah.
to it remains.
Right.
And so that needs to be fixed.
Okay, that looks like a typo.
good catch.
Can you bring that to Beth's attention
Okay.
before Thursday? Okay?
Yep.
Okay.
And then I had a question, and I don't know what you want on the mandatory referral from the board, but I had a question on the 55 plus. I want to know, is there a deed restriction that makes these in perpetuity as 55 over? And if there isn't, is there a limit to the number of units total that can be developed within a certain time period? Because this allows for 4 to 8 units per acre,
Yeah,
which is huge. And so far there are three, one developed already, two others in the works for 55 and over. So if you look at the,
But one is only 3 units.
well, all I'm saying is how many 55 and over market rate units are really needed in Townsend? Have you consulted the housing production plan to look at that? None of these are affordable units, so there's no affordable component, not even a fractionally, to this. And I know that the 3 units that were sold, or 4 units that were sold, did not get sold to Townsend residents because the prices on these so far are so high that they aren't really marketable to people that live in town.
That's because the cost of construction is high.
So I'm a 55 and over person who lives in Townsend, who has a family home, who will not be downsizing to these market rate 55 and over.
Right.
And I don't qualify really for the affordability. And so how is the town being benefited by this is what I want to know. And what happens when the town, so we're putting a lot of units in an acre. And yeah, you have to have town water. So I'm not as concerned about the septic destroying people's well water. But what happens when we don't have a 55 and over population? Will these always in perpetuity be 55 and over? Are they deed restricted? That's my question. Or could they in 20 years become family apartments, which I'm not opposed to either. But I just, how thought through is this as far as the character of the town and the housing production plan?
The 55 and over deeds are basically done by the state. When you develop for 55 and over, you have to go by their guidelines.
Okay, and so are they?
I haven't read every word, but I do not believe they can go back to anything.
They can't revert back
I
to
do not
anything.
believe so.
Well, that's what I would want to know, I guess. So those are my questions. That's all.
55 is young, relatively young today. And so I think there's going to be, most of our elderly population now are 70s to 90s in Townsend.
Well, yeah, but wouldn't it be nice to be able to downsize to a home in Townsend that you can afford, that isn't 500,000?
So there are other places where in Fitchburg, maybe not in Pepperell, but in Fitchburg, Gardner, Ashburnham, Westminster, that have the 55 and over communities that are, some are under 3 and some are over 3. And they're 55 and over and they're by state guidelines.
But so why can't we have ones in town?
Because it's too expensive to build here.
In Townsend,
the
it's
lots,
more expensive to build in Townsend than in
the cost.
Gardner?
Yes, it is, because the cost of land is higher here than it is in Gardner.
Well,
not so much in Westminster, but
I don't
in
know,
Winchendon, yes, they're in Winchendon.
I think there's an affordability piece built in if they're at 300. But anyway, that is my comments on the referral.
Okay,
that's all. I'm not looking for an answer or even.
But I'm trying to tell you what the market is in other areas.
Still,
under the state guidelines.
It would be good if what was in Townsend was.
I agree, but I also know that realistically, it's not going to happen.
Then I don't know that if I'm in favor for this density, if that's the case. That's all. Because this is much denser than the original. It keeps going down and down. It was on 2 acres. Now it's on 1 acre. So
And it
every
has to have
time
town
this has
water.
been, and it has
It
to have
has to
town,
have town water.
right, which I agree, that's a good requirement.
So
But,
again, you're looking at what the Board of Health will approve.
okay, I'm just commenting and I'll be there on Thursday.
Okay. I was
But if
trying to
we're-
answer your
If we're
comments.
doing a BO, I'm not looking for answers. These are the comments. And if you're looking for comments from the Board of from Select Board members, those are my comments on both of them.
I don't have those comments, so you can actually write them in and sign as vice chair. I'm happy to have
All right,
that.
I'll
vote
do
in.
that after the meeting. Okay. So that's it. That's my discussion. Go ahead.
Okay, so that's the referral. 4.6. Vote on special meeting warrant and articles for January 28th, 2025, special town meeting.
So how are we gonna go through this? Nelson, are we gonna do one at a time?
We certainly can. That might be the most logical way of going through it.
Okay.
So if you guys want to make the motion, and then during the discussion period, we can talk about things. And the reason why it's worded that way is mainly because of the public hearing on Thursday for the planning board warrant articles. You know, that's Thursday evening, so if there's any changes that needs to be made as a result of that public hearing, you know, we need a couple days to, you know, work with council to make those changes to the article.
Do you want a motion first, or do you want discussion first? Because Articles 20 and 21, I will not vote in favor of on this town meeting warrant. I will vote in favor of them for the spring special town meeting warrant.
Yep.
But I don't think we should be moving money to stabilization or capital stabilization until we know what snow and ice is. And until we have a final on what we have in free cash.
I agree.
Because if I go with 136 for stabilization, 200 for capital, 200K for snow and ice, which is not out of the realm of possibilities. There's 25K otherwise in this meeting. We're looking at 561K from free cash. And that's a whole lot. And I know we'll have other free cash items coming up. And so I hesitate I do want to contribute to put monies back into the stabilization. And I do think we should be getting money into a stabilization fund for capital and building that up.
Right.
But I don't think this is the town meeting where we want to do that. If we do a spring special town meeting, for example, for an override question, then maybe that's where it could go, because we would be far enough along that we would know what snow and ice is. But the thing that we don't know is snow and ice. So that's the, and right now, do we know, have we been certified for free cash?
Not that I'm aware of.
So we don't even know what our free cash certification is yet. So, that's what I think.
Makes
So I would make a motion for Articles 1 through 19 with this, the way it's written here. But not to include 20 and 21. So Lori, I don't know what you think about that.
I'm in agreement.
Okay.
And the articles have been vetted by town council.
Okay.
I've made all the changes that they've incorporated.
Yeah.
Except for the 3 articles that, you know, for planning board. And the big one was certainly the playground one, which
I like the way it's written.
I've tightened up the language. So
Yeah.
People don't sort of
I did look at,
get the wrong idea when they read that article.
right.
for the playground.
And town council did look at this then.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. I had one question. Article 1 says available funds in the treasury as opposed to free cash. Why is that? Is it because it's a prior year debt?
I did look at that a little bit more closely. That was actually one of town council's recommendations, or
Okay.
they had a question about. So I am gonna revise that to say, for it to come from free cash.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should I make a motion?
Sure.
I move to approve the warrant articles 1 through 19 for the special town meeting, January 28th, 2025, as presented, including placeholders for warrant articles pending town council approval after the planning board public hearing on January 9th, 2025.
Second.
Should I put the second part in here too?
Yeah.
I move to sign the special town meeting warrant out of session after town council review and approval of the same.
Second. Any further discussion?
Not for me, no.
Hearing none. Off the vote.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
And I will, once it's ready, I will let you guys know, so you can come in and sign it, and then we can get it to the constable to post around town.
When does it need to be posted?
By the 14th, but I'm hoping to, which is Tuesday, I'm hoping to do it the 13th on that Monday.
Okay.
I think that's what his plan was too. And
Yeah, because it makes
that's our
sense.
meeting. That's the planning board meeting.
Oh,
right?
okay.
The 13th.
Yeah, that's the real meeting.
But you,
The 9th is just
a
the public
hearing.
hearing.
but you guys would have buttoned everything up at the end of
The 9th.
the 9th. Would you need to take any further action on the 13th regarding those articles?
I don't know. We'll see what happens on the 9th.
Okay.
I'm starting at meeting at 6:30, but then I'm gone at 7, and
Oh, yeah.
Carol's going to
You had
take
another
over.
meeting.
Yeah, and obviously,
Okay. So yeah, so we're, I'm planning on, having it finalized and so that we can sign and post it probably the 13th for, and at the latest, the 14th.
Okay, so I would need to come in to sign after the planning board meeting on the 13th?
for the select board.
Yes, to sign the warrant.
I guess that would depend if everything is buttoned up, at the end of the meeting on
I
the
think
9th.
we'll know by Friday.
Okay,
Yeah.
You know,
Alright.
I think we should
All right.
know by Friday.
just let me know.
I think Adam is gonna be there Thursday night for the public hearing.
Okay. All right.
Okay, well, we voted that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so 4.7,
4.7, I move to create the Conservation Restriction Committee to place a CR in Squanicook Meadows with 5 members as follows. 1 select board member, 1 Conservation Commission member, 1 endangered species permit holder, 1 TESA representative, and 1 water department representative, with a consultant from NHESP, non-voting member, but someone from,
okay, do you have all
Mesa
that, because
to-
that's not on here.
no, it's not.
Okay,
It kind of stopped.
so I'm gonna second it for discussion, and you can explain how this came
All
about, when it came about, and how nothing was done.
Yeah. Okay, so TESA, and I know James and Dale and Selena are here for TESA and Conscom, I suppose. But this property is owned by the town and it's leased to TESA. They have, it's a 3-year lease because that's what the town charter allows, but
You want to
the,
say what TASA is
um,
for the audience?
Townsend Youth
Ash-
Soccer,
Townsend
Townsend Ashby Youth Soccer
Thank
Association.
you.
And so the town soccer fields are there. And, so, but there are also protected species on that property in a certain area, mostly away from where the soccer fields are. So back to the lease, they have a 3-year lease that is renewed for 3 years, every 3 years, for up to 9 years right now. And the first time was 2022, I think.
Oh, we're coming up to
2021?
the end.
Pardon me?
I think we're coming to the end of it.
But then there, within the lease, there's a 3-year renewal and another 3-year renewal. So it would just be that we need to re-sign. But in that lease, we rewrote the lease with TASA Consulting and Natural Heritage Endangered Species Consulting. And the lease allows the expansion of the area. So and the CR can be put on in conjunction with it. And we voted on this back in 2022, I guess it was, 2023.
Mhm.
Anyway, it was in the works and we had started work on it. The Board of Selectmen voted to put the CR on the property. There was a whole process where the Conservation Commission could have taken ownership of the property, or the town could put a CR on it. The select board is the town itself is the owner of the property. So that's under the purview of the select board. So the decision of the Conservation Commission was not to do the CR, but not to own the property, but to have the CR put on it. So the select board went forward that way and it was in process, but because we voted it, I think in a January meeting or an October meeting, and then it started budget work, we never got the CR done.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went off the board and it just got dropped. And so the reason this is back is because TASA is working on plans to expand the soccer field. And I, at least personally, would very much like to see those plans come to fruition. And so, but I do think that the species does need the protection. And there's a well site up there as well, which is why one of the members is a water department member or Board of Water Commissioners member. Maybe I should have said that, or appointee, could be anybody. Right. But because water has an interest in that hill as where it's the flat as well. It's the flats where the soccer fields are. It's the hill where everything that needs to be protected is located. So anyway, so that's why. And everything, the vote is, people can look at the meeting for the vote from 2 years ago or whatever. And there was work done, which when I went off the board in April of 2023, I transferred to Eric, but it never went further than that, I don't think.
James?
I believe they gave you a template to use.
Yes.
Well, to help, I don't want to say expedite, but to help guide.
And in the meeting
process.
minutes, there's because a regular conservation restriction, says these are the things you can do, these are the things you can't do, either on the full property or in an area of the property. And but when there is endangered species involved, it's slightly different. The format is slightly different than a regular conservation restriction on, say, a land trust property or a private owner's property. So in any event, I do have that. It's in the meeting. I had transferred everything, including I had actually started editing that.
Okay.
Based on, we have all the
I had a
maps.
copy of it, but I was hoping it was somewhere in the mix.
We have all the leases, there's like, I don't know, 9 documents in the packet that we got. And because I documented it all when I left the board, but it just SAP. So now that they're coming forward, and we, the town, maybe I should let Nelson talk about what's come forward from TESA.
Dillis and Roy, which I believe TESA has contracted with to do this project, has reached out to me because we technically own that land to give the okay for them to move forward with this project. Obviously with all the permitting and conditions to be dealt with down the road, but they just need permission from us as the landowners, to go ahead with the project. So that's sort of what drove this conversation, I guess, to begin with a few weeks ago when I reached out to you. So, if as a result of this motion, we can, not only get the committee in place, but also, give me permission to give, Dillis and Roy, the permission to start working on this project.
And the committee would have to meet first before you could actually do that, right? They
No.
don't?
The committee doesn't have to meet first. The CR, it's on the same property, but the CR is separate from the work that the
Committee does?
TESA will be doing. And these can be done in tandem. I mean, they can be done at the same time, but I don't know what.
So there is, and I try to be polite because I go through the same thing. There is a stormwater permit associated with it because of additional parking. So there's a bunch of other permitting, especially within town, that we want to try to work, navigate it at the same time as National Heritage. And we've done pre-consultation or pre-permitting with National Heritage several years ago, so we already used their comments, and that's how we ended up with the CR recommendation. So that it's multifaceted and working in conjunction with all the different aspects. It takes time to go through the planning board and everything else, so we recognize that.
Yeah, I know that. Anybody else want to say anything? Tessa? No?
So
More than welcome to hear from you.
we're just super excited.
Okay. This is the documents that are in the portal that have to do with this. So do you have all these, James?
I can forward that to you, James. You probably do have them somewhere, but I had put them all together and sent it to Eric in April of 2023, saying, "Hey, this needs to."
So in my response, Selena's email and Dale's Selena is our guru with all of our digital, all of our cloud files. So
Okay.
So when you send that to James, if you can reply also, we all get it, and that way I can help keep track of things. She keeps our drive organized.
Okay.
I think you're lucky you have her.
Oh, very, very.
So back to this. So is this the kind of board that needs to be, there's no at-large members. It's a select board appointed, the Conservation Commission appointed, the permit holder, which is Emily Fine, I believe is still the permit holder, a TESA representative, so TESA should be notified, and a Board of Water Commissioners representative.
And again, it's a representative.
Right.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be somebody that's seated on any of those things.
Right, it could be.
But they can send a representative.
Correct. So those are
Volunteer
the
forms.
And I would like someone from NHESP to consult with us if we have questions, just like we did. We had meetings with NHESP when we were talking about this, and they were very helpful. So to have
Do you want to
someone,
say what that is? NHESP.
a Natural Heritage Endangered Species Program
Thank you.
of DEP, Mass DEP. Department of Environmental Protection.
So Sabrina, you have all those, people, positions in the motion? Okay, in the motion. Okay, so the motion's been made and seconded and discussed. Any further discussion?
I think it would be good if we met. Should we put a date on when to meet?
So personally, I don't intend, so we're gonna discuss the conservation, recommendation tomorrow night. I don't plan on
Being the,
being the person, nor do I plan on being the person for TASA, just because of my involvement with everything else. And I'm trying to just keep it clean, but I try to, questions or the guidance I try to offer with perspective with it, that part of it since when we really started to discuss it. So
okay. All right. So, well, if we could get somebody by the end of January to meet in February, that would be good. So,
Okay, that means postings will be done? For the
that was the
positions?
question. Do we need to post for them, or is this something that we just notify the boards that are involved and they,
But
because
well,
there's no at-large
there's
really.
no at large, but there are people from the public that could seek out one of the boards there or one and be a representative.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. And I'm
Okay.
gonna keep verbalizing throughout our meetings.
Try to get
Okay.
more people.
actually, one
James.
thing I did think of was, I know the Cravens had, you know, an intention for that property to be used as it is. And I really wonder if Kim or did up to it, should be part of the discussion at some point.
Well,
They could get themselves appointed.
from one of the 5 positions. Is it 5
Yeah.
positions?
I like an odd number. Yeah, it's
Yes.
5 official positions.
Okay, so certainly you can pick whoever you want
Yeah.
that you think is appropriate. And they fill out
Or
a
even a-
volunteer form.
Or even a public comment.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so these would be open meetings
Yeah,
and certainly
sure.
people would be welcome to attend. So.
How would we post?
So would be posted? And there would be an appointment after the posting.
Yeah, we could probably post it that way if someone someone else is being appointed by the, they could turn in if they're interested in being the,
I would
you know,
post it.
the TASA rep or the, you know, although I would think.
You may
TASA
have
would-
somebody who's very interested in any one of those things. Who's
Okay,
got their hand up?
I'm not even looking at it. I have no idea.
She can.
Maybe it's Dave or
Hartley or Dave?
Okay, would
Maybe
someone
not.
like to be, would like to screen share?
No,
No,
Nope,
no,
we're good.
but thank you for asking.
Okay,
Yeah, so
Um,
we can post it.
Yeah,
yeah,
We'll
okay,
post it.
I mean, I
All
want
right.
to put everything out there,
all
you
right.
know, that there is. You don't know who's got an interest that would really like to, you know, participate. Okay,
Did
so discussion,
Oh, well, do we want to vote on the committee and
Yeah.
then discuss the signing of the form? Make a motion to that for that?
Sure.
Okay,
okay, all those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
All right, so then I make a motion that, that we sign the, what's the name of the form?
So this is,
The project review checklist as the owner of Squanicook Meadows.
yeah, and this is the section here that as the record owner or a representative, we give permission to submit this request or filing. And the request or filing is, site modifications to the fields or that area.
All right, then I make a motion that as the owner of Squanicook Meadows, we give permission to, who is that? Dillis and Roy?
Dillis and Roy.
To,
That's
let's just say we give permission to, allow, the leaseholder to go forward with, the property modification.
And I would sign on behalf of the town.
And, for, our town administrator, Nelson Lee, to sign on behalf of the select board. Okay. Is there a second?
Yes. Second. Any further discussion?
No.
Anything we missed? Hearing none,
Aye.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Yay. Thank you for coming. Okay, we just did 7.8.
Make the motion.
We can make the motion.
All right, I move to approve the contract for MIS services through Guardian for backup services and to authorize the town administrator, Nelson Lee, to sign on behalf of the select board.
I'll second for discussion. Since I'm not a big fan. You want to discuss it?
I don't have anything to discuss. I mean, if we need it, we need it. I don't know. Nelson, do you want to talk more about
Yeah.
this?
Yeah, it's a additional service that, Guardian provides. It's to back up all of our servers, so it is a.
Service here in town, Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's several, servers that we have, and, yeah, so I would say it's an essential IT function
Okay,
that they
I
provide.
related it to the portal.
We have it now, correct?
So
We do have that service now, do we not?
we do, correct. This is just to, renew it, sort of,
Oh,
yeah, for another 3
what
years.
was the increase in cost from
was-
the last?
It's the same price. Yeah,
And what is that?
it is, $32.76 a quarter. So, not exactly inexpensive, but, nonetheless, it's,
And it's already budgeted, correct?
yes.
Yeah.
And no increase from the last, go around, so same price.
Any further discussion?
Yeah.
Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Work session. ARPA projects.
Not too much to report. We had that big meeting on December 12th where we voted to reallocate a bunch of money, to bridge the deficits that we had discussed at the meeting. So I'm just now working with TEO and NM Cares to provide them the money that we promised we would give them. So I'm just working that to send them the money. That way we can sort of close out those projects and move on to other stuff.
Send them the remainder of what we already said we would
Correct.
for the rest of the ARPA.
That's correct.
So they have that up front rather than piecemealed.
Yep.
What's left in right.
Yeah, that's for NM Cares. TEO, we did promise them the walk-in fridge, so they already have plans to get that in place, so I'm just, I just need to figure out what we need to get from them in order for us to pay them the money that we promised them. whether it's an invoice or, some sort of
Bill,
memo.
say.
Yeah, something.
And where will that money come from?
The ARPA.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
what we already voted.
Yeah,
Okay.
correct. Yep. So I'm just working behind the scenes to sort of make that happen.
Okay,
So, other than that, I don't really have any, updates, on the ARPA.
questions? Okay.
Are we doing liaison reports? I don't see it on, here. I guess I'm used to it. Okay,
No, it's not on the agenda.
all right. Are we gonna put that back in or not?
I guess, I didn't take it off, but I'm good with not doing it tonight.
Okay, all right. That's fine.
That's back what known as town administrator updates and reports.
I have a few. The pay-as-you-throw bags, I'm happy to report the small bags are available right now at Hannaford's and McNabb's.
How much are the small bags compared to the big bags?
Let's see, the big bags were three, so they're $2.50 each,
Okay,
and they
instead
come
of-
in rolls of 10.
Okay, for the small bags.
Correct.
So it's $25
Yes, correct.
for 10 small bags.
And we have now added Walgreens as a local vendor that's carrying the bags too. So another place that's going to carry them. So we're constantly trying to find new vendors, in different geographic areas, just to spread it out a little bit. So I think the Red Brick is now in West Townsend, that they're selling some too. And
Is that gonna be on the website, the information posted?
yeah, we have been posting them as more vendors come on board.
Okay,
So it is on the Board of Health website at the moment. What else? The electricity aggregation program that, was put into effect a few weeks ago. There was a little bit of confusion, and I can see where people are coming from, and I think it was Veronica and someone else that brought it up. Most people have probably received their Unitel bills already, but when you look at it, the read date or usage period is from like late November into late December. That's technically the November read, and this electricity program, what was being advertised to everyone was that starting on the December read, you would get the new rate. So, what this means is the bill that you receive in late January will have the new electricity rates on it.
well, I look forward to that, because I didn't see any decrease this month.
Yeah. And the Unitel rates have also been published. So these are for folks that just, have Unitel, as, their supplier versus, the program that we're all enrolled in. And that rate effective in February is 15.599 cents per kilowatt hour, which is over 2 cents more than the electricity program rate. So just a little quick math, if someone uses 500 kilowatt hours of electricity a month, at these rates, you're looking at $125 in savings a year, through the electricity program. So, and obviously the savings are more if you use more electricity, but I'm just using a baseline number of, 500 kilowatt hours. So, over 3 years, that's, at least $375 in savings, at these rates. So, I would say it's pretty substantial. And again, the savings are only going to increase if you're a household that uses more electricity than, the 500 kilowatt hours. So it's a real savings that residents are gonna see.
Okay, we hope so. So we'll
Yeah.
watch our invoices as they come in.
Yep.
That's all for your reports.
I had one last thing. This sort of came about right around Christmas time. You're probably aware of the Neshoba hospital closing,
Yeah.
and sort of the effects surrounding communities have felt. So we 13 communities, including Townsend, actually sent a letter, and it had my signature as well as each community's fire chiefs. We sent it to the governor, and we basically told them, about the effects the hospital closing has had, and it's affecting us financially. So as part of that letter, we actually requested each of the 13 communities were looking for $350,000 a year for the next 2 years to offset some of the expenses that the towns are experiencing because of the closures.
This is from the state. They're asking for that much from the state
Correct.
to
Yeah.
go back to each of the communities.
Correct. Yep. It was a letter sent to the governor. So the ask was 9.6 million. Again, it's $350,000 per year for 2 years for the 13 communities, as well as $500,000 to have an independent study done of the emergency response system, and maybe there's some efficiencies that can be gained by doing a study, maybe recommendations as well. So this letter was sent out to the governor right after Christmas. So everyone, I'm happy to say all 13 communities, including Townsend and the fire chiefs, signed that letter, in support of this request.
So,
Margaret,
no response yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. So Margaret, though, she gave a report that she sent all of us. It was in our portal. I actually ended up sharing it on Townsend United.
And I believe she might have mentioned that letter as well. I did see the same email from Margaret, and so it was definitely a joint effort. I think her and
Which
her
is what
office.
we have to do. We have to band together.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was 13 communities banding together with a united message to the governor.
Yeah.
So haven't heard back yet, but we're hopeful. But it is a large ask. It's almost $10 million, and
But I know that we're not in a densely populated area, but those 13 communities, do you have any idea what the population is combined that are affected by that one hospital?
I don't have the stats, but I believe in some emails we have that information available.
So thank you.
I believe that's all I had. Oh, the FY26 budget was well underway. The deadline was yesterday for all the departments to submit their budgets. I believe I pretty much have all of it. So now I'm going to spend the next couple weeks compiling everything, so then we can have discussions, diving into all the departments' requests. So I'll be working on that at least for the next 2 or 3 weeks to get something together, so that we can then, I believe, talk to the finance committee, have joint meetings. You're thinking February probably,
Yeah, we tried to meet weekly. Finance and Selectboard. It didn't always work out. Those Saturday meetings, you probably remember those.
The Saturday, well, we look at the procedure. It says that we should be meeting at least twice in February.
Yeah, I think it would be good to meet, do a joint meeting every time the Select Board meets and every time the Finance Committee meets. Yeah, so that once a week, we know we're looking at.
Yep.
And discussing and,
In the last meeting, you had 2 dates in January listed.
We did, we were off, so when we get to February, yes, it will take some time to prepare
Okay.
right,
the omnibus budget, as well as the books that we can look at.
And then we had that, budget summit, I believe, on Saturday, March 1st. So that's like a all department meeting.
and what is the date for the school committee to have a budget for us?
I heard it was February 6th is what I've been hearing. There's a joint meeting between the school committee as well as the finance subcommittee of theirs. Which is actually a good point. Will Hackler, he's the finance subcommittee member. I spoke to him recently. He's willing to attend our next Board of Selectmen meeting to go over some of the highlights of what the school budget might look like.
Okay.
So I think he should provide a lot of valuable information, to us. I believe our next meeting is not until the 21st. He said he would be able to support that remotely.
Okay,
Me too.
You're out of
I'll
town.
be, yeah.
Okay.
I'll be here.
So I'll extend the invite to him. That way he can prepare some talking points for us.
Okay.
But yeah, my understanding is February 6th is when they are presenting the budget.
And as far as our next, well, maybe I should wait till we get there.
That was all.
Okay, so there's, I have documents that's 5.3. So can I do my 5.3?
What is 5.3? Because I don't have a 5.3 on the agenda.
I know.
We go
Oh, it's a
5.1, 5.2, 5.4.
5.3, and now it's 5.2.
Now it's 5.2,
Which is,
the announcements and communications.
oh yeah, that's 5.2. No, there's no 5.3.
So, we do have a communication from Kathy Spoford that James Normanton has submitted his resignation as a member of the town's entire EMS department effective December 31st, 2024. And, thank him for his service. That's all I have under 1.2. 5.3. So the next meeting, 5.4, is January 21st.
But don't we have a meeting January 14th with the Board of Health? A joint meeting?
We do.
We do. Has that been resolved? Is it posted?
It has been posted, yes. By them and us, is that correct? Board of Health.
Yes.
Okay, yep, so it's gonna be downstairs in meeting room 2
And it'll be Zoom, correct? So people that want to attend have to attend by Zoom or in person?
yes, it's a hybrid meeting,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So people can attend in person in meeting room 2.
yes. And I heard that Glenn Shaw from Shaw's, he wants to be there, and he actually apparently will have a proposal for us to take a look at.
That's good. It would be great if we could have it in this room so that it could be projected live on Channel 9.
I'm trying to make that happen.
Okay,
But
but if not, meeting room 2 is fine.
but yeah,
with
Glenn,
that.
Glenn Child has expressed, interest in coming in person and presenting it to us. I think it's great that, we'll get an actual proposal at that point.
And
we can certainly discuss it at that time. But also, we might need to take some time afterwards to digest the proposal as well, if any further questions.
Okay.
Mhm.
So again, our next meeting after the 14th joint meeting with the Board of Health is January 21st at 6 p.m. in the chambers. It will be hybrid, and I will be attending on Zoom.
Okay.
And flag, review and sign payroll and bills payable warrants outside of session.
I make a motion that we sign payroll and bills payable warrants out of session.
Second, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
And aye. And now, 6, executive session.
I make a motion that we enter executive session and adjourn from executive session to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of the public body, and the chair so declares for the highway superintendent.
Okay. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned here, going into executive at 7:32 p.m. Thank you all for attending.